What's up, guys? It's Kurt, and first and foremost, I would like to apologize for the amount of time I've spent not putting out videos. Honestly, currently PUBG had been pretty stale for me. Until first person came out, I wasn't really playing too much. I had peaked around 200 hours, and that's about when I stopped getting wins, just because I wasn't really even playing to win anymore. I was just playing because I had nothing else to play. But now, first person's back out, I'm back into the grind of things, and hopefully this video will be equally as enjoyable as my last videos as I explain what I'm going through. So as I drop down, I look around and I notice that there's two people above me and my partner. So I want to land closest to where I can find a gun. And in my head, I think, okay, here's the garage. I'm going to land at this garage and hope for something. If I hadn't found a gun in this garage, I would have ran elsewhere away from these people until I found a gun. I found an AK pretty quick and a helmet, so I know that I'm in a pretty good spot to duel these guys. So I decide that I'm going to run to the right of the crates up the ramp so I can peek only my head. In this situation, it makes it so that I can peek less of my body, and it gives them something smaller to shoot at. It's a lot harder for them. Completely potato my arm on that guy. And I start pushing towards the crate where I think he is. Turns out he's not over there, but my buddy sees him. So I'm jumping around on these crates, looking around, looking under. I know that he doesn't have a gun unless he picked up one in the crate, but my buddy saw him. So I know in my head, and he knows that he doesn't have a gun. So logically, I'm going to push him. He could have only gone one way, and that was towards the warehouse. So as I'm looking towards the warehouse, I'm still trying to keep an eye out for his buddy. I see him over there on the crates. Don't completely potato my aim this time. Decide to take my time a little bit when I'm aiming. My buddy sees that he's running right at me, and he gets the kill with a revolver. We loot the entirety of Novo. There was nobody else here. There's no point for me to show all the looting. It was a ridiculous amount of time looting, like 15 minutes or something like that. So we're just fading it into when we actually move onto the bridge. And we're expecting bridge campers. You should always expect a bridge camper when you're coming. If you don't expect one, that's going to be the death of you. So we hear a shot, looking around for it. Figure that it must be at the end of the bridge, so we get to cover. Hugging the right side is the closest cover that we can get. I have an 8x on my AK. In a makeshift situation, an AK makes a pretty good sniper because of the damage that it does. So if you don't have, let's say, an actual sniper, you could put a 4x or an 8x on an AK, and that'll do pretty well. At this point, both me and my partner are pinned behind the truck, and we notice that while they're on the other end of the bridge, we're stuck down here. Might seem pretty obvious at first, but if you put two and two together, we have to go towards them. They do not have to come towards us. We have to push from cover to cover where they can just sit still, head glitch us, so only their head is showing, using the same strategy that I used on the ramp earlier to show the smallest part of their body, while we have to expose either more of us or get in an improper position to try and engage them. Our only goal currently is to move from cover to cover because we know the zone is coming and we have to go to them. We use suppressing fire on each other, which is one person shoots while the other moves, so one stays down. At least one person stays down, so the person has a better chance of moving. I realize here that my buddy's too far up, and then I'm a little bit pinned, so he is going to use suppressing fire so I can move up to him. Staying together in a situation like this is very crucial. If I ended up getting down, there is no way he would have got me back up. They could have shot under the car, he would have had to run back without any cover fire at all, and it would have just been a mess. In pushing up to him, we're thinking in our heads, okay, what can we do? Like, how do we get to these guys? How do we battle them? How do we outplay them? We're still trying to head glitch them to expose as little of our bodies as possible, doing what they're doing to us. But in the end, it's still the fact remains that we have to push towards them. So my buddy asks, okay, what do we do? I'm like, well, the best situation here, we're at the ramp. Let's just get off the bridge. You don't take any damage when you fall into the water, and when you swim underwater, you actually swim faster than you would if you were above water. When you do swim faster underwater, you also can't get shot. The only thing you have to worry about when swimming underwater is right to the right of your health bar is the lungs. And if your lungs go all the way down, you're going to take a lot of damage really fast. And that tacked on with zone damage and getting hit by random particles above, like random bullets, you're coupled for a bad time. So you have to be careful for those lungs. Your lungs do not regenerate while you're swimming above water. You have to fully stop and let them regenerate. You also cannot med in the water. So doing this, while a big risk, wasn't that big of a deal because we were under the bridge. They couldn't see us. They would have to go into the land, which I saw them there for the moment. They were in the upper left-hand corner of the bridge on land. So we could put the pole between us and them. Swam up to the pole, decided our next move, regained our lungs, our air, and waited. We weren't taking zone damage anymore at this point. And it's also extremely hard to see from when you're looking down into the water. It's hard to see people underneath. So what we did, we recovered, swam underwater all the way to the shore. And at this point, when I got to the shore, it was our best decision for one person to flank and one to distract. If one stayed and distracted, the other person could flank around. In this situation, I was the flanker, and my buddy was the distractor. Upon getting to land, I noticed that they are still above me, peeking down, and that they're looking at my buddy, maybe not necessarily me. I can hear them above me as well. I look up, down the first guy, which gives me a great opportunity to move around. His buddy would have to get the first guy up. That would be his first priority, as in my head, that would be my first priority. You always have to think, when you're facing someone, what would you do in that situation? Or what would someone that's way better do? Well, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, this guy has to get him up. So I'm pushing around because he's busy getting him up. I have at least 10 seconds to maneuver. So I'm flanking up behind them. They're busy with my buddy. They have no clue that I'm coming up behind them. And they're both looking down at the rocks at my buddy, and I get an easy spray down on both of them. If I had not knocked down that first guy, it would have been a lot harder, as they would have had the high ground. And you know how that went for Anakin. So we move along. This is just a little bit more running from the bridge. And we come up along the sand, and my buddy says, this guy's right next to us. Like, I didn't see him. He was over the bank. I wasn't. I couldn't see him. So they are right here, like right over the ridge. I'm surprised that I didn't even hear him. We had two different angles. He was on the I was on the side, and he was on the front. Easily mowed them down without issue. They didn't even get a shot off on either of us. Grab their attachments, looting everything that we need. You should always prioritize first. Make sure you have at least 2 or 3 clips on the side of your gun. If you don't, you're gonna run out of ammo. You never want to run out of ammo. It's okay if you're out of meds. But, I mean, ideally you don't want to be out of either. But if you're out of ammo, you can't kill people. If you're out of meds, then you can at least sneak your way around. So fast forwarding on from that, we move down to the last segment. This is one full segment now of nearing the end of the game. We see an airdrop and decide that, hey, that's pretty close. Let's go for that. Not realizing completely that it was in a field until it was pretty much too late, and I decided, you know what, I really want what's in this airdrop. Fuck it, I'm going to go in, look around. I don't see anybody, nobody's shooting at me as of yet, until very quickly. So we get about halfway to the airdrop from where we were, and we start getting shot at. So I get the new weapon, the MK14, which turns out to be pretty good. I got the 8X. I already have the ammo from the 7.62 from my Kar 98K. Or my AK-47. Excuse me, not my Kar 98K. In this situation, we honestly should have died. We were getting shot at from at least 2 groups from both sides. And we were just AD strafing, sprinting, moving left and right, trying to use any cover we had, which there wasn't any. So suppressing fire was used in my situation. I said, okay, we're not going to get out of here unless we take down one group, or at least make it so we can get to cover by hitting that group a couple times. So while my buddy's running, I'm like, okay, I'm going to turn, I'm going to shoot this guy, use my suppressing fire so my buddy can get to cover, and if he needs to, he can cover me. He doesn't end up needing to cover me. We make it a cover from at least one side, and the hill is just a bit over so that the other team can't hit us from that side. So we're covered from both sides. In that situation, we don't get shot at anymore. They must have been preoccupied with something else. And we decide, okay, again, we need to get the high ground. We see the mountain and decide that that's the best course of action. It's in the circle. It's up the hill. We have decent cover from every side. There's ridges all over the place. Ridges are great cover. They're a solid cover. They provide concealment. Like a bush provides concealment, but it is also not hard cover. You can shoot right through it. So if you get discovered, you're screwed. But on a berm, if you get discovered, you can just drop back down. It's hard cover versus soft cover. When we reach the top of the hill, my buddy goes, okay, there's 2 guys at the tree. Gives me a cardinal direction. Hit him a couple times with the new MK14. At first, I'm like, oh, this gun's kind of trash. I hit him twice. Buddy hit him a couple times. Didn't do anything. Turns out the gun's actually really strong. Both guys get crushed. We decide it's not even worth it to go over there because the zone is so close. we're sitting in the shack, and we realized that, okay, this is a terrible idea. Sitting in a shack in the end zone is a terrible idea. Someone could just run up, throw a grenade. You can't see out, especially in first person. You have no third person. You can't look out those windows. You can't do anything. All you have is your hearing. So we decide, okay, let's just get out of here. I noticed another guy right by the tree. Pull out my MK14 again. Shoot a couple times. They should have hit. Not really sure why they didn't. At this point, I'd like to apologize for the cheers on my screen. I did not realize that they were dead center screen until I started making this video. In my next videos, they will be adjusted and moved up to the top more so you can actually see where my crosshair is going. A couple of these kills, again, I'd like to apologize that that's happening. So after killing the other guy at the tree, we're at the top of the hill looking down. We're at a great position. We're all the way up the hill. If one of us gets down, the other one can get back up with relative safety. The zone is coming in from down the hill. So when people are coming in, they have to run uphill. And it's just a terrible spot for them. My buddy spots guys at the rocks. We're already, again, uphill, and he'd have to move into the zone. So we had a tremendous advantage here. Knock that guy out. Look around for his friend. Don't quite see him yet until I spot him on the right-hand side, back down towards the zone. Call him out, use cardinal directions, the tree, and the last landmark that I knew, giving the best information that I could to my buddy to let him know where he was and what he could do. So currently we have information on 3 people. Myself, my buddy, and that guy. There's 3 unknowns. So we position ourselves so we cannot be hit by that guy down the hill, and we go to clear these sides. Notice at least one more guy. Knock one out. So at this point we have information on 5. Now we have information on 4. We knew 1 was silenced. He had to be right next to his buddy. So my friend pushes, gets the guy down after I killed the other guy. And now we know there are 2 people left. There's me and my friend, the 1 guy down the hill, and 1 unknown. So currently we're playing around getting me up. Having 2 people over advantage of 1 is tremendous. You can flank from different angles. You can look around. You have way more vision. You have effectively double the vision. So we think currently we're in a 2v2. I look at the circle. I look at my health. I look at the time. I realize that I have plenty of time to med. We know there's 1 guy down the hill and at least 1 other guy unknown. So me and my buddy are looking around for that last guy. So we pop over the hill. We still have the high ground. So our decision of taking the high ground in the beginning, of taking that mountain, was a tremendous advantage. If we were down the hill, this game could have gone either way. So we're pushing up. I noticed the guy's super close. That's the first guy we saw, so we have no idea where the last guy is. So it's down to me, my buddy, and 1 unknown. But he can only be down the hill because we cleared the top of the hill completely. We know that we're uphill. He has to be downhill because the zone is forcing him out, and we cleared uphill. At this point, I'm just boosting up to get the maximum boost that I possibly can because the forward boost gives me the most run, the most regen. Makes us much faster. It could take that extra 1/10 of a second to get behind a tree, and that could save you, or that last tick of the boost. I decide that I need that level 3 helmet because if he hits me in the head, while it will still decrease the damage, my helmet will be gone, and at least the helmet from that guy could take 2 hits. So we're looking down the hill, looking around, staying near cover, peeking in and out of cover. Again, using like CSGO strategies. If you've ever played Counter-Strike, you know what I'm talking about. You peek in, you look, you come back. You peek out, you come back. You peek out, you come back. Now, at this point, I'm clearing the edge of the zone, making sure that he's not anywhere on our left-hand side where he could get a double kill flank. Boosting one more time. Always want to stay at that top boost if you have extra boost. Notice him all the way down at the bottom of the hill. Now with my first shot, I took off his helmet, and I know at this point it's pretty much a guaranteed win unless we mess up. So he's down at the bottom of the hill in the worst possible spot that he could be in. We are on his left, on his right, at the top of the hill. He has to come to us in the zone. He's in an absolutely awful spot. So we push left and right at the same time, utilizing both our flanking mechanisms, where he pushes right, I push left. He falls down to a couple of chest shots without any issue at all. And this game was pretty unique to me because this was actually my first-person win. It was one of the first games that I had played. So I really hope you guys enjoyed my analysis of my gameplay and my breakdown of what I thought in my head. there's going to be another video coming out. I have a 17 kill third person video solo. If anyone would like to see that, put it down in the comments if you're still watching the video at this point. If not, thank you very much for watching. Sorry about the delay. I will have more videos out soon, and thank you again.